doesn't whisper to everyone, just to those who've forgotten how silence sounds. It plays differently when you're asleep. There is a hallway where the lights never fully arrive. Not darkness, not light. Just endless dusk that forgets its own edges. You stand at its edge, barefoot. The floor isn't cold. It's listening. Behind you, a door clicks. Not open, not shut. Just aware. You didn't hear it before, because the silence was too loud, like fabric being held too tightly, stretched across a room that no longer fits. The footsteps begin softly, not near, not far, but from beneath, as if memory itself were walking toward you, wearing your weight, unsure how many limbs to use. A mirror hangs crooked on the wall to your left. It does not reflect the hallway. It shows a stairwell that descends in a loop, each landing marked by the same coat on the same hook, swaying slightly, though no wind passes. You take one step forward. The floor responds not with sound, but with breath. It exhales quietly through the wood grain, warm with something that remembers skin. A low pulse, not mechanical, not rhythmic, but personal. A frequency that knows your name before you speak it. You try anyway. Who's there? But your voice doesn't echo. It doubles back and slips into your left ear. The same tone, the same breath, just slightly late. Like someone repeating your thought from inside your head. Then, a soft drag, like bare feet sliding across carpet. The sound does not approach, it surrounds. You reach for the wall, but it isn't there, only curtain, thin, breathing in, and something behind it shifts. Not to reveal itself, only to confirm it exists. You don't speak again. The hallway curves. The lights dim further. And from below, the footsteps stop. Only silence now, but you feel it watching. The curtain inhales again. The sink is old, not in the way a thing grows old by being used, but in the way ruins forget their purpose. Its basin is wide and shallow, lined with faint scratches in curling spirals, like someone tried to carve language into porcelain with their fingernails. Water drips steadily from a faucet that doesn't turn, and each drop hits the center of the bowl without sound. You expect a splash, an echo, but it's as if the water passes into something else before it lands. Absorbed by a silence deeper than sound, you lean closer, not by will, but by gravity. Emotional, not physical. The sink draws you not as an object, but as an event. You blink slowly, and now the porcelain is littered with fragments. Glass petals, translucent, shivering, each shaped like something once beautiful. A teacup's rim, the lip of a bottle, a mirror's edge, all broken, all curved inward, as if imploding rather than shattering. You reach in, the glass doesn't cut. It sighs beneath your touch, rearranging slightly, curling toward the heat of your fingers. They feel like petals, but they're too cold. One has something etched on it, not letters, not symbols, just a soft spiral that draws your eye deeper inward the longer you stare. You blink again. Now the spiral is on your fingertip. Not ink, not pain, just there. You look up. The mirror above the sink is no longer reflecting you. Instead, it shows the hallway outside this room, empty, still. except for the door at the far end, which opens and closes without rhythm. A door you don't remember being there. A hallway you don't remember entering. The mirror breathes in your direction, fogging slightly, and for a moment you smell rain on metal. The faucet hisses, then clicks. Then something behind the wall shifts, not loudly, but with intent, as though an old mechanism has been nudged awake by your presence. A lock disengaging. A gear that forgot its place in the machinery of the house. You speak again, or maybe you don't, but something whispers softly through the drain. Some voices return, others echo. You look back down. The petals are rearranged now. They form a pattern, a crescent, just like the moon that disappeared. But this one is reversed, curved the wrong way, and it's bleeding slightly. A trickle of shadow seeps from one glass edge toward the sink's rust-ringed center, then disappears through the drain as if erased. Your reflection reappears beside the strange hallway view. For a moment, both images occupy the same mirror, a split vision. In one, you are still. In the other, you're walking backward. There's a noise behind you. A typewriter. One key pressed, again and again, without release. It sounds like a heartbeat filtered through static. You turn, slowly, but the sound stops before your movement completes. The air behind you smells like dust and ink. The window is gone. Or rather, where the window was, there is now a wall of curtains, all drawn, but each made of something different. Lace, velvet, plastic, smoke. One of them ripples inward as if touched from the other side. The ripple leaves no motion behind, only distortion. You don't approach, not yet. Instead, your eyes return to the petals. They are humming now, ever so faintly, vibrating in sync with something inside your chest. Not your heart, something lower, deeper. A forgotten organ that only responds to echoes. You blink again. This time the sink is filled with water. The petals float. Except they're not petals anymore. They're keys. Tiny, ornate. Some rusted, some pristine. Each floats with its teeth downward, spinning slowly in place like compass needles trying to forget north. The mirror fogs again. Words appear this time, written backward in condensation. It's not broken. It's waiting. You exhale. Your breath joins the mirror's message, erases it. You realize your hands are wet now, though you never touched the water. Your fingertips glisten with some residue. Not water, but something more viscous, like memory that hasn't dried. You rub your hands on your clothes, but the sensation remains. It's beneath the skin now. The hallway in the mirror shifts again. This time, you see movement. A figure, distant, limping. Not toward you, not away, just moving. The typewriter begins again. A single key tapped, over and over. It's spelling something, maybe, but only one letter is being struck. You don't recognize it. You look down. The sink is empty. Again, except for a single glass petal, too clear to hold reflection. It vibrates gently, as if whispering in a tongue made of light. You back away from the sink. Your feet echo too loudly, as if stepping through a larger space than the room allows. You touch the doorknob behind you. It feels like static, not pain, just unfamiliarity made physical. You don't open it, not yet, because now the mirror shows your face again, but it's smiling, and you're not. You don't remember leaving the room, but the floor has changed. The tiles are colder here, arranged in a spiral that widens beneath your feet like the whirl of a fingerprint. Each step lands with a hush, not silence, but something quieter than that. You are moving, but the hallway around you seems still, as though waiting for permission to exist again. The air is colder now, not harsh, but deliberate. It clings to your breath, shaping it into faint clouds that linger longer than they should. One drifts ahead of you, curls and pauses mid-air, suspended like a thought you forgot to finish. It doesn't rise. It draws shapes. A crescent, a door frame, a hand, then nothing. On the wall to your left, there's wallpaper peeling away in thin, tongue-like strips. Beneath it, not brick, not plaster, but pages. Old notebook sheets, layered atop one another, written in looping cursive, with no spaces, no punctuation. Just one sentence folding endlessly into the next. You try to follow it with your eyes, but each letter unravels as you look, dissolving into breath fog, as if the paper is exhaling memory. There's a smell now, charcoal, rain on old books, the soft crackle of burned sugar. You can't place it, only feel it behind your teeth, like something half remembered from a night that ended before it began. You turn the corner. The hallway widens into a chamber, not a room exactly, just a pause in space, like a held breath. At its centre, a table, circular, worn smooth by years of forgetting. On it lies a map. You approach. The map is drawn entirely in breath, not ink, not charcoal, but trails of condensation captured on a surface colder than air. It flickers, shifting slightly with every move you make. It shows no places you know, only symbols. A spiral within a door. A moon turned backward. A pair of eyes crossed out in charcoal. You lean closer. One symbol pulses softly. A small radio tower with roots instead of cables. Beneath it, the words, "Don't adjust it. The noise is part of the message." You blink. The words are gone. Your hand hovers over the surface. As you breathe, the map changes. Your exhale redraws a path. Your inhale erases it. You try not to breathe. The map holds steady. A sound crackles from above. You glance up. The ceiling is covered in speakers, all rusted shut, except one. From it, a voice leaks, not spoken but hummed, just low enough to make your molars ache. It loops, a lullaby with no melody, only shape. You can't remember when it started. You reach out, brush your finger along the surface of the table. The breath map shifts again. A circle opens. Within it, a room with no walls. A mirror lying flat. A typewriter submerged in water. Your name carved into the underside of a drawer. You feel something beneath your fingernail. Not pain, but pressure. You pull your hand back. There's a key stuck to your skin again. Tiny, irregular. It looks handmade, or self-made. Its ridges are soft, too soft to turn anything physical. You pocket it. A door appears on the far wall. You didn't see it before, but you're certain it was always there. It's narrow, metal, painted the colour of a bruise. As you step toward it, your feet leave faint steam prints behind, vanishing one by one like radio signals fading in fog. The door has no handle, only a keyhole shaped like a crescent. You feel the soft key in your pocket pulse. Once, then silence. You don't unlock the door. Not yet. Instead, you turn back toward the table. The map is gone. Now in its place, a sheet of thin wax paper, and beneath it, an outline of a face. Yours, maybe, but softer. Melted at the edges, as if someone tried to remember you from sleep and drew only the feeling. You lift the paper. A note beneath it reads, "This isn't the first time, is it? Or maybe not yet." You fold the wax sheet and slip it into your sleeve. It feels warm against your skin. The chamber around you begins to hum. The speakers twitch, release one long exhale in sync. And then, the sound you didn't expect. Typewriter keys again. But not a single letter this time. A sentence. Uneven, slow. You stayed. Even now, you're still tuned in. You close your eyes. Behind your lids, the breath map returns, folding inward. This time it draws something different. A figure standing beside a sink, holding something, watching something. You recognize the curve of the shoulder, the tilt of the head, but the face is yours. Without eyes, you open your eyes. The room is empty. The door pulses. You walk toward it slowly, each step mirrored half a beat behind you, as if someone else is walking too, just out of sync, just late enough to feel familiar. You reach the door. The metal is cold, but your breath leaves no trace on it. The key in your pocket grows lighter, fainter, as if it was never really there. You knock. There's no sound, but the door opens. The door opens not with a creak, but with a sigh, soft and aching, as if it had been holding its breath for far too long and forgot how to exhale properly. You step through, and the sound continues behind you, trailing like a whisper down your spine. Not closing, not staying open, just breathing. Shallow, patient, pulsing gently with the rhythm of something waiting. The room you enter smells like wet wood and moths. The floorboards groan in small syllables beneath your feet, complaining not from weight, but from memory. Light filters through a single slatted window high on the wall, fractured by dust and time. It paints the room in uneven shadows, long, finger-like stretches that twitch ever so slightly when you're not watching. There's a chair in the centre, backless, threadbare cushion. Someone once sat there for a very long time, and maybe still is. You circle it once, instinctively, your breath catching each time your shadow meets the legs. You can't tell if it's the room that's tilting, or your thoughts. Possibly both. In the far corner, a typewriter hums. You can't see it, not fully, only its outline, a silhouette cast against the wall like the ghost of a machine. A single key is pressed down. It does not rise. The ribbon flickers occasionally, like it's remembering how to function. You hear it typing, very faintly, but there's no paper. Only the sound. Letter after letter, ghosted into the dust. You place your hand against the wall. It's warm, warmer than the room should allow. Beneath your palm, there's a heartbeat, or something close, not steady, not human. A thump, then a long pause, a tremor, then stillness. You remove your hand. A print remains. It breathes once, then fades. You look back toward the doorway, expecting to see the corridor behind you. Instead, there's only mirror, full length, no frame, no reflection, just glass holding light that isn't yours. A faint flicker runs across it, like a skipped signal. For a moment, your shadow appears within it, delayed by a second, then gone. The chair creaks, but you didn't touch it. Motifs recur. The door, the typewriter, the echo that trails ahead of its source. There's a cabinet by the wall, small and narrow, the kind used for things people don't want to find easily. You open it slowly. Inside, several folded sheets of vellum, slightly translucent, each etched with breath lines. Not words, not maps this time, but outlines of teeth. Human, infant, animal, unknown. One of the sheets curls slightly as you touch it. Beneath it, a matchbox. The label reads, "The signal is inside you now. Let it hum." You don't strike the match. You don't need fire. You already feel warmth behind your ribs. A flickering, not of heat, but of static. A kind of inner radio tuning itself to a station you haven't fully named. You walk toward the typewriter's silhouette. With each step, the keys click once. Not loud, but precise. As if the floor is typing through your feet. You glance down. Your shoelaces are untied. You don't remember ever tying them. The typewriter isn't plugged in. It never was. But it vibrates faintly, as if writing for someone else who no longer reads. You reach out, press a single key. It depresses easily, no resistance. You hear the sound in the air behind you, like tape unspooling, slowly, not rewinding, not playing, just unraveling. The door behind you exhales again. It's still open, half, just half, as if waiting for someone else to follow. You close your eyes, just briefly. Behind your lids, the room blinks. It resets. The typewriter now faces the wall. The chair is overturned. There's dust in your mouth. And the mirror is cracked, not broken, just enough to displace your reflection. You open your eyes. Everything looks the same, but you feel it differently. The wall breathes again. Beneath the boards, something shifts, a shape with no form, pressing up gently like a memory trying to become flesh. The breathing grows faster, not panicked, just closer. You whisper something, not to the room, not to yourself, just into the air between, the liminal space where thoughts don't belong. And the walls whisper back. It plays differently when you're asleep. You inhale. There's a new scent now. Cold wax, old tape, cinnamon, faint and sour. The light overhead flickers. One of the sheets of vellum falls from the cabinet on its own, drifting slowly until it lands face up. It now holds an image. A hallway with no walls, just pillars vanishing into a fog. In the centre, a figure with your posture, but someone else's height. Backwards, listening. You blink. The image is blank. The door behind you inhales this time. A subtle reversal. You step back toward it. It does not close. It does not open. It just waits, half breath, half thought, caught mid-motion. And through its stillness, you hear a voice you've never used but have always known, whispering from the other side. This isn't the first time, is it? Or maybe not yet. You reach for the frame. Let your fingers rest on the edge where wood meets air. It's soft, like paper, or breath, or something just about to forget. The sound doesn't begin all at once. It arrives in increments, first as a hiss, barely audible, like static through cloth. Then a low thump, repeated, uneven, like footsteps, but softer, padded, not against wood or stone, but something less certain. Maybe carpet, maybe memory. You pause in the hallway, which stretches now in both directions. Behind you, the door still breathes. Ahead, the air is different. Not colder, just thinner, as if it's been filtered through speakers too small to carry voice. You take a step. The sound answers with its own. A mirrored step, then silence. You take another. It follows. But now, it's closer. Half a beat behind. You don't turn around. The wallpaper here peels in vertical strips, exposing a surface underneath that looks like skin. Not flesh, not real, but painted with pores. It reacts to your presence with goosebumps. The patterns ripple slightly, and then still. You breathe through your mouth, but still smell something. Damp cassette tape, stale paper, ozone. There's no mold, but there should be. A radio sits at the end of the hallway. Small, portable, the kind used during storms when power fails. It hums faintly on a table you hadn't seen before. The antenna is snapped, but still standing. You can feel the signal before you hear it. A low-frequency buzz that rests in your teeth, then behind your eyes, then deeper. You approach slowly. Each footstep you take, the radio mimics. Not sound for sound, but rhythm. It pulses, predicts, reacts. You test it, stopping mid-step. The pulse halts. You lift your foot. It clicks. You set it down. It fades. You touch the dial. It resists, then turns too easily, like wet glass. The static shifts, widening, then narrowing, until a voice slips through. But it's not speech, just breath, controlled, rhythmic, familiar. It sounds like yours, except it's not in sync with your lungs. You listen. The voice hums something low and shapeless, not music, not quite. More like a memory being played backward through dust. Then, don't adjust it. The noise is part of the message. You turn the dial again, but it's stuck. The antenna bends, then straightens, then bends again. Slowly, like it's watching you. You lift the radio from the table. It's heavier than it looks. You carry it, and with each step, the hallway changes slightly. Walls pull inward, shadows crawl upward, and the sound beneath your feet becomes wetter. You're not walking on tile anymore. You're walking on something soft. Fabric? No. Carpet? No. Tape. Long spools of cassette tape, looped and unspooling, stretched across the hallway like threads of a dream trying to stitch itself shut. They stick slightly to your soles. One catches your ankle. You don't stumble. But something behind you does. A thud, then another. You turn your head just enough. There's no one there, but the hallway is shorter than it was before. The radio in your hands hums louder. You bring it close to your ear. It whispers something in rhythm with your pulse. This isn't the first time, is it? Or maybe not yet. You press the speaker to your chest. It falls silent. You keep walking. The door at the far end of the hallway is marked with numbers. 3. Not a room number. Not a frequency you recognize, but familiar nonetheless. You press your palm to it. Cold. Then warm. Then nothing. You don't open it. It opens you. Inside is not a room. It's a signal. A space humming in slow pulses of dim orange light. No walls. No floor. Just fog laced with wire. Tape hissing in long arcs, looping from corner to corner where no corners exist. Footsteps echo now. Not yours. Not anymore. You stand still. They continue. They circle. Close. Then distant. Then behind you. You hold the radio tight. You whisper into it, not knowing what you're saying. Only that your breath condenses on the speaker. And for a moment, that condensation shapes into words. You stayed. Even now, you're still tuned in. The fog thickens. From within it, a shape, human maybe, flickers forward, then sideways. The way bad signal does. You look directly at it, and it's gone. You look away, and it walks. You think of the hallway before this. The breathing door, the map drawn in breath, the broken moon, the petals in the sink. The image begins to blur, looping inward. The hallway might be behind you again, or ahead, or both. The floor beneath you shudders. A low click, then hiss, like a reel reaching its end. Then silence. Then playback. The same steps. The same voice. It plays differently when you're asleep. You take a step forward. The frequency follows. A shadow brushes past your shoulder, but there's no weight, only temperature. Colder than air, warmer than thought. You blink. The room disappears. You're holding a tape, but there's no player, and the label reads you. You don't drop it, not yet. The key is already in your hand when the lights change. You don't remember picking it up, but your palm curls tightly around something cold, not sharp, not smooth, textured like thought, as if someone had carved it from the memory of metal. It's lighter than before, or maybe your hand is heavier. Either way, it fits perfectly, like an answer you forgot you asked for. Around you, the walls pulse with quiet static. Not the sound, but the shape of it, patterns of grain that shimmer across the paint like waves of breath. The hallway behind you is no longer visible. Only fog. Only outlines of door frames that don't belong here. Some cracked open. Some sealed with fabric. One stitched shut with hair. You close your eyes and let the key speak. It hums. Just once. Low. In a voice you almost recognize. down. The tape labelled "You" is gone. In its place, a small note. Folded thrice, crisp, edges slightly burned. You open it slowly, expecting ink. Instead, it's a negative. A black and white photo exposed in reverse. A door, slightly ajar. Light spilling out, not from within, but from the space between the hinges. You blink. The photo is blank again. You walk forward. The floor changes beneath your feet, shifting from hardwood to something softer. Worn velvet, or perhaps carpet from a hotel hallway you've never stayed in. The pattern repeats, crescent shapes woven backward, one after another like a trail. You follow it. A door stands ahead, unmarked, familiar. No handle, just a lock. The key hums again. This time, a word forms behind your teeth. Now. You press the key into the lock. It doesn't turn. It melts, or unravels. Thread by thread, the grooves come undone, not into metal, but into whisper, into air, into something you can almost hear. It plays differently when you're asleep. The lock opens. You don't push the door. It moves on its own, inward, revealing a narrow stairwell lit by flickering bulbs. Each light clicks softly in rhythm with something behind your eyes. The frequency 0.33 rises like warmth in your ears. Your foot touches the first stair, and then the second, and then you're not walking anymore. You're descending slowly, not down, but into something, into where the breath gathers. The smell changes again. Old wood, rusted key teeth, rain-soaked wool. A distant scent of something floral. You don't recognize it. You think you should. Halfway down, you hear it. Whispers. Not words, not voices, not human, but rhythm, familiar. Mimicking the way your thoughts sound just before they fade. You reach the bottom. The room is small, square. Each wall lined with shelves, holding nothing but empty cassette cases. Thousands, some cracked, some pristine. One still spinning, its tape ribbon fluttering in still air. In the center, a pedestal. On it, a mirror the size of your hand, facing down. You lift it, and the reflection isn't yours. It's the room, from above. A perfect top-down view. You watch yourself reach for the mirror. Again, then again. Each time slower, each time more uncertain. You set the mirror back. The reflection continues. You turn. There is no door behind you. Only wallpaper, breathing softly. A voice from somewhere beneath the pedestal speaks, not aloud, but through vibration. It uses your bones as conduit. You stayed. Even now, you're still tuned in. You kneel. There's a drawer in the pedestal you didn't see before. It opens without sound. Inside, another key. But this one is made of bone. Still warm, your fingertips tingle as you lift it. It pulses 3 times, then stillness. You look at the cassette shelves. One of them is missing, a gap just wide enough to fit you. You walk closer. The shelf deepens as you approach, turning into a narrow hallway, each wall lined with cases labelled with phrases you've almost dreamt. The version of you they forgot. The room that watched you sleep. The moon behind the floor. You stop walking. You are already inside. The bone key presses into your hand again, harder this time, like a question. You don't answer. Not yet. You hear footsteps, again, behind you, closer now. You don't turn. You whisper instead. This isn't the first time, is it? Or maybe not yet. The lights above flicker, and for a moment the room resets. All cases are full. The mirror is gone. The key in your hand is now cold and made of glass. It hums softly, as if waiting for the lock to return. You first hear the curtain before you see it, a long exhale stretched into fabric. Not wind, not voice, just the sound of something being let go over and over without end, like breath caught on a loop. You follow the sound down a narrow corridor made of dust and forgotten light, your hand trailing along a wall that feels like velvet warped by heat. The air folds around your wrist with a weightless warmth. It smells of dried lavender, rusted hinges, and the kind of dust only old breath leaves behind. At the end of the hall, the curtain waits. It isn't drawn, it isn't closed, it simply exists, hovering slightly off the floor, trembling in a rhythm that doesn't match any breeze. You know, even before you touch it, that it is not made of fabric, not in the traditional sense. It's woven from thin threads of exhalation, each sigh tied to a moment someone tried to remember and failed. You step closer. The curtain shudders. You don't feel cold. You don't feel warmth. You feel pressure. A kind of silence wraps tight around your ribs. The key in your pocket pulses once, faintly, like it recognizes what lies ahead, or what lies behind. You reach out. Your fingers press gently into the material. It gives, but does not part. The texture shifts beneath your touch. Damp silk, then dry hair, then the hush of paper being folded. It breathes back against your palm. A slow inhale, a long, patient sigh, as if the curtain recognizes you, or remembers. You press forward, and the world softens. On the other side, the light is wrong. Not dim, not bright, but scattered, as if bouncing off surfaces that don't exist yet. It refracts in slow spirals. The air tastes metallic, like old tape. You blink, and the curtain is gone. Behind you now, gone in the way a dream leaves, quietly and without apology. The room you've entered is unfamiliar, yet it hums with something your body knows. A circle of chairs, empty, facing inward, each one different. A child's plastic seat, a high-backed antique, a folding metal one, rusted at the joints. One chair is missing a leg, but still stands, suspended mid-fall as if frozen in decision. In the center of the circle, a table. On the table, a radio, and beside it, a name tag. Your name, written in red, slightly smudged. You pick it up, the adhesive still warm. The radio crackles. Not violently, more like an exhale that forgot how to end. You don't tune it. You don't touch it. But it begins. A looped signal. First, footsteps, yours. Then a laugh, not quite human. Then a voice. Some voices return. Others echo. Then silence. The air shifts. You turn slowly. One of the chairs is no longer empty. You don't look directly at it. Your eyes resist. But in the corner of your sight, a figure, still, watching inward, not at you, at the radio, at the center. You blink. The chair is empty again, but it remembers being occupied. The key in your pocket is heavier now. Glass or bone or something else entirely. It murmurs softly against your thigh. You feel the sound rather than hear it. It syncs with the radio hum. You sit in the chair nearest the curtain. It sighs as you do, not from weight, from relief. Your hands rest on the table. You notice something etched into the wood beneath the dust. Don't adjust it. The noise is part of the message. The letters aren't carved. They're pressed, as if made by fingertips or knuckles. The radio speaks again, but it's your voice now, whispering a phrase you haven't yet said, but will, soon. The table shifts, just slightly. A drawer appears in its side, flickering into solidity. You open it. Inside, a photograph, black and white, a circle of chairs, all empty, except yours. In the photo, you're standing, looking at the camera, but your face is turned slightly, as if listening. You flip the photo, a short note in faded pencil. You stayed. Even now, you're still tuned in. You close the drawer. The room is still. The sighing continues, not from the curtain now, but from beneath the floor. You place the photo in your pocket. The chair beside you creaks. You don't look. You whisper to the floor. This isn't the first time, is it? Or maybe not yet. Something whispers back. Not words, not breath, just shape. You stand. The curtain is gone. The chairs are gone. The table is gone. Only the radio remains. But it's not playing anymore. It's listening. The first drop falls without a sound. Then another. And another. Until the room seems to listen more intently than you do. To what is no longer falling, but returning. The floorboards beneath your feet grow cool, as though absorbing something long overdue. You don't hear the rain. You feel it from below. It's not wetness. Not quite. It's the weight of memory, soaked into the grain, bloating the wood with things it tried to forget. Footprints appear without warning, one by one, seeping upward through the planks like stains in reverse. Not muddy, not human, just shapes. You crouch, touch the floor. It exhales softly, damp but not wet. Warm but not living. The scent rises. Petrichor and scorched earth, old ink and brass doorknobs. Your fingers leave no mark, but your breath does. The condensation sinks downward instead of rising. You whisper, and the boards murmur back. Not words, just rhythm. A pattern, like fingers drumming. Or code. You blink. The floor shifts beneath you. A faint click. Then another. As if something is trying to lock into place beneath the surface. The boards tighten, not with tension, but memory. Like a house bracing itself for something it's already endured. You walk. Each step leaves no print. But behind you, something drips. Not water, not sound, but time. A corridor unfolds ahead, narrow, warped, impossible. The walls lean toward one another, lined with frames. Each frame holds a photograph, black and white, and underexposed. You lean into one. A child standing in the rain, face turned up, eyes closed, no mouth. You blink. Now the frame is empty. Another frame. A typewriter submerged in a puddle. Keys pressed by falling drops. Letters. S-I-G-N-A-L. You move on. The hallway curves downward, like descending into a slow spiral. Gravity feels inconsistent, heavier on one side, lighter on the other. You adjust, slightly tilting with the incline, like walking through a hallway that hasn't decided which direction belongs to the floor. A door appears. It's not closed, but not open. Wet at the base, as though the rain lives behind it. The handle is missing, but a crack runs through the wood in the shape of a crescent. The glass key pulses faintly in your pocket, a rhythm that matches the dripping behind your thoughts. You press your palm to the door. It doesn't open, but it breathes, and something behind it breathes back. Don't adjust it. The noise is part of the message. You close your eyes. The rain stops, or changes. The silence that follows is thicker than sound, a weight behind your eardrums. When you open your eyes again, the floor beneath you is wet. Only beneath you, not around, not beside. Only the outline of your presence, like a shadow made of rain. You look up. There's no ceiling, only mist. Within it, a shape, not a person, a doorway, floating. Upside down, you blink, it's gone. But now, your reflection is beneath you, in the wetness, looking up, smiling slightly, the way your mouth doesn't. You step back, it doesn't follow. It waits. You walk again, faster this time. The corridor changes with each step. Walls breathe, photos drip. The floor pulses gently with saturated memory. One more step, and the sound returns. Footsteps. Behind the frequency, not echoing yours, not chasing, just overlapping, as if someone else is using your rhythm to trace a path. You pause. The sound pauses. You inhale. The air carries static, and the scent of rain still falling somewhere else. A whisper slips into your ear, not from beside you, but from beneath the floor. You stayed. Even now, you're still tuned in. The puddle beneath your feet darkens. A shape forms within it. A keyhole, wide and breathing, trembling slightly at the edges. It calls not with sound, but with gravity. You kneel. The glass key is no longer in your pocket. It's already in your hand, cold, dripping, like it's been here longer than you have. You lower it, but before it touches the puddle, the reflection vanishes, the shape closes, and the floor dries. Instantly, you stand. Only silence remains, and a final sound, distant and low. A typewriter, pressed once, then again, then nothing. There's a silhouette burned into the wall, not drawn, not carved, just left there, like a memory that stayed too long. Its edges are soft, unfocused, and where its arms should be, the paint has cracked in fine radial lines, as if the shape had once pressed its palms to the wall and asked to stay. You recognize it, not visually, physically. It matches the space you occupy when you dream, the one you slip into just before waking, when your body forgets its weight and your name becomes background noise. You step closer. The wall hums, not loudly, not like a machine, like breath, caught between two thoughts. The sound that lingers after a sentence ends, just before another begins. You reach out, but don't touch. The air between your hand and the wall sparks, faintly, blue-white flickers, like old CRT static dancing between your fingers and the outline. It reacts. The silhouette vibrates gently. You feel a tug, not on your body, but just behind your ribs, where your shadow should be. You lower your hand. The static fades. You turn, and the hallway is gone. Now you're in a room shaped like a breath held too long, narrow, rounded at the edges, no corners. The walls pulse with static, not sound, but movement, a shimmer of light trying to become texture. In the center, a suit. Your suit. Laid out on a chair you've never owned. Jacket draped, sleeves crossed, shoes aligned neatly beneath it. But there's no body, only form. Like the idea of you got dressed and waited patiently for your return. You approach. The fabric shifts slightly, catches the dim ambient light and refracts it back in lines. Lines like antennae, like signal diagrams, like veins. A folded note sits in the breast pocket. You don't reach for it. Yet, instead, you circle the chair once. And again, the suit begins to shimmer, static caught in its seams. Not electrical, not visible, but sensed, as if the shape is broadcasting you back to yourself. You inhale deeply. The scent rises, cassette tape left in the sun, cologne you never wore, ironed linen, something faintly sour, regret perhaps translated into air. It tastes like goodbye. The note in the pocket unfolds on its own. You don't read it, but you understand it, not in words, in sequence. Breath, pause, step, pause, whisper. Some voices return, others echo. You blink, and now the chair is empty. The suit is gone, but you're still standing where you were, only now your own outline is burned into the floor, like the one on the wall, like the one in the puddle. You step back, static fills the air, rising like mist, not choking, not loud, but present. A substance between substance. Within it, your name repeats, glitched, reversed, spliced with echoes of voices that sound nearly right. You whisper it back. It doesn't land. It loops. The walls vibrate gently, and for a moment, your body doesn't know where it ends. Your arm trails into the air a moment too long. Your breath hangs after you exhale. Your thought continues after it should have finished. There's a mirror on the far wall. Fogged, it flickers, only once, and in it, not you, but static, shaped vaguely like you. It moves differently, delayed, fractured. But you see the suggestion of your movements translated into its frame. A quarter beat behind, a half glitch to the left, like watching yourself through an old recording badly dubbed over too many times. You move your hand. It doesn't. Then suddenly it does. But now it's the wrong hand. You step forward. The mirror exhales. A line appears across its centre, not a crack. A seam, slowly unzipping. You expect it to open. It doesn't, but something breathes through it. Something that knows how you sound when you don't speak aloud. You lean closer and whisper, "This isn't the first time, is it? Or maybe not yet." A flicker, your own face, but wrong. The eyes too deep. The mouth almost smiling. The expression of someone remembering what your face used to feel like. You blink. The mirror is gone. Only a wall, with your silhouette burned into it again. But now, the arms are reaching forward, as if waiting to catch you. The static returns, this time inside your lungs. You cough. No sound escapes, only white noise. A hum, slow, familiar. And behind it, a voice, yours, not speaking, just repeating. You stayed. Even now, you're still tuned in. You close your eyes, and the static forms around you, like clothing, like shape, like memory remembering how to fit. And when you open your eyes again, there is someone else, just past the doorway, wearing your silhouette, holding your breath, but not your name. The hallway doesn't begin, it surrounds. No entry, no threshold. Only the sense that you've been walking through it longer than you've been aware. As if the corridor was not a passage, but a condition. An arrangement of air and angles that shifts only when unobserved. The walls breathe shallowly, not in and out, but forward and back, pulsing like lungs unsure of their location. They're close, but never touching, painted in a colour that resists naming, the hue of faded dreams, the memory of damp light behind closed eyes. You reach out, and the wall retreats slightly, like a tide pulling back before it breaks. There are doors here, dozens, each perfectly spaced, identical in size, but none with hinges. Some have knobs, some have keyholes, others have nothing but a shallow imprint, as if someone once leaned against them for too long. The air between doors shimmers faintly. You try to count them, lose track around 13. Try again, reach 9, then 11, then 0. You walk. The floor beneath your feet feels solid at first, then less so. It warps imperceptibly with each step, firmer on your right, softer on your left, until your body begins to tilt without realizing. You place a hand against the wall for balance. It's warm now. Warmed by breath or memory. You pause beside one door. It hums slightly. Not sound, not vibration. Something else, like a thought you forgot to forget. You lean your ear to it. A voice, faint. You stayed. Even now, you're still tuned in. You step away. The door doesn't stop humming. You take 3 more steps and find yourself back in front of the same door. But now, its knob is gone. You try again. This time, the doors have swapped sides, left to right, as if the hallway is attempting a correction or testing you. You stop walking, and still the floor moves, forward, backward, or neither. Your feet no longer dictate direction, only intention, and even that feels untrustworthy. The hallway opens, but not wide. It folds, mid-center, into itself, like a hallway collapsing toward a vanishing point that refuses to exist. A Mobius twist in architecture. The middle becomes unreachable. Every step forward lengthens it. Every step backward shortens it. But at the cost of something you can't quite name. You step forward again. A single light overhead flickers. Only one. Not above you, but just ahead. And beneath that light, a chair. Not a new motif, but a new form. This one is facing the wall. One leg shorter than the rest, still waiting. You don't remember sitting, but you're sitting. Your hands are resting on your knees. There's something written on your palm. A spiral, drawn in ash. Faint, smudged, but pulsing faintly with a static that you feel more than see. You trace it slowly. The spiral tightens. As you follow it inward, the hallway narrows. Doors vanish one by one. Light contracts. You close your eyes. And the center comes into focus. Not a place. A sensation. The feeling of having been here once in a dream you couldn't wake from. You open your eyes. The hallway has inverted. The walls are now floor. The floor is now ceiling. But gravity hasn't noticed yet. You continue walking without falling. Ahead, one final door. Crescent carved, breathing faintly. This one you recognize, but you haven't seen it before. The handle is wrapped in a strip of cloth, pale, frayed, printed with a series of typewritten letters that repeat again and again. This isn't the first time, is it? Or maybe not yet. You unwrap the cloth. The handle is warm. Not from heat, from pulse. You turn it slowly. And on the other side, a hallway. Identical, but darker, quieter, deeper. As if this one leads not through space, but through frequency. You enter. The door closes without sound. There's no knob. Behind you, your footprints vanish in reverse. The hallway expands, contracts, remembers. You whisper into it softly. Don't adjust it. The noise is part of the message. And somewhere, ahead or behind, you are already walking, still searching for the center that never existed. The room is dim, lit by a single bulb swinging slightly from the ceiling, though there's no breeze. Beneath its arc of tired light, a table waits, rectangular, scuffed at the corners, the kind of table found in old kitchens or abandoned offices, its surface etched with years of casual forgetting. And resting atop it, alone, is a notebook. Open, waiting. You step closer. The bulb sways a little wider now, its filament buzzing softly in uneven pulses, like a moth trapped in a glass throat. The notebook's pages flutter once, then still. You can smell the paper. Dust, mildew, something like lavender tea spilled long ago. The ink on the open page has bled slightly, blurred not by time, but by something wetter. A single phrase is written, centered, barely legible. You forgot to finish this. You don't remember writing it, but the pen is there, uncapped, warm to the touch. You pick it up, and the moment you do, the table shifts. Not physically, but perceptually, as if the room around it has changed orbit. The walls breathe again, like in the hallway, but this time, slower, as if asleep. You lower the pen to the paper, but stop. There are other lines now, written in faint graphite, sentences half erased, some yours, some not, some only legible at certain angles, like they were meant to be read by memory, not eyes. You tilt your head, the words rearrange. It plays differently when you're asleep. You blink, and suddenly you're seated. The pen is still in your hand. The bulb above no longer swings. But something underneath the table ticks. A metronome, a tape reel, a clock buried in breath. You don't look under. Instead, you reach toward the page again. But the ink fades as you do. It pulls back into the paper, line by line, until the notebook is blank once more, except for a mark in the upper corner, a symbol you've seen before, a crescent, reversed, dripping slightly. You run your thumb across it. The paper is damp. Your fingers stain with something darker than ink, lighter than shadow. You bring them to your nose. The scent, static and pine, and something that feels like childhood. The notebook closes on its own, but softly, as if not wanting to interrupt. You stand, and now the table holds something new. A snow globe, tiny, cloudy. Inside it, a hallway, yours, or something remembering yours. The snow inside isn't snow, it's ash falling upward. You shake it gently. The hallway inside shifts, doors opening and closing at random. A light flickers. A shadow runs past. You don't remember when you sat again, but your hands are on the table. The notebook is gone. The globe is gone. Only the pen remains. And your hand, which is now writing, without your consent, without your awareness. A looped sentence. You stayed. Even now, you're still tuned in. You try to stop, but your fingers continue. They know the rhythm too well. You close your eyes. Behind them, the table is longer. At the far end sits a version of you, not mirrored, not duplicated, just remembered differently. They're also writing, but with both hands, and humming. You don't recognize the tune, but your teeth do. The air tightens, the light flickers once more, and the table empties again. You look down. The pen is no longer in your hand. It's in your mouth, like a tongue you forgot how to use. You speak around it softly. This isn't the first time, is it? Or maybe not yet. And the table replies by offering nothing except the outline of a dream, half written, still waiting, still open. The ticking begins before you see it. soft, wet, uneven, like a clock caught underwater, still trying. It doesn't echo like a real clock should. It folds into itself. A spiral of timekeeping without intention. You follow the sound through a hallway that narrows the longer you walk, until your shoulders brush both sides. The air presses in like water, or memory. At the end, a room, square, still, lit only by the reflection of something that hasn't arrived yet. In the center, the clock, mounted high on the wall, analog, oversized, hands thin as wire. The second hand twitches instead of gliding, hesitating at every tick like it's asking permission. You look at the time. 33. The numbers don't sit right in your mind. They don't belong to any part of the day you've lived. They belong to that other time, the one beneath dreaming. You blink. The numbers flicker, then cry. Not loudly. A soft whimper of static, expelled from the frame. A gasp, like circuitry catching its breath. It happens again, louder this time, then resolves into silence that feels wrong. You step closer. There's no glass on the face, only air, and inside, the hands now point inward, toward the center, as if time has folded into itself. Beneath the dial, an inscription carved into the plastic. Don't adjust it. The noise is part of the message. You reach out. The clock leans slightly towards you. The wall behind it breathes, a ripple of warmth and resistance. You touch the frame, and the room changes, not shifts, not transforms, rewinds. You are now standing just inside the door, before you took that step, but your hand still touches the clock. You've become unstuck. Again, the ticking resumes, but the room is different now. A cot rests in the corner, covered in typewritten pages stitched into the fabric. On the wall, a shadow that doesn't move when you do. A record player spins nothing, emitting a faint hum that matches the rhythm of the second hand. 33. Still, always. The clock begins to weep. Soft trickles of moisture bleed from beneath the face. You step away. The floor is damp now. Your shoes leave no print. But behind you, static puddles. They shimmer like glass and memory. You kneel, peer into one. A reflection looks up. Not your face, but your voice. Formed into shape, mouthing something. You can't hear it, but you feel it beneath your jawbone. A whisper that says, you stayed. Even now, you're still tuned in. You look back up. The clock is gone, but the ticking continues. From inside the walls, from inside your wrist, you check your pulse. It sinks for a moment, then stutters. You speak your name aloud. It echoes, then returns to you, rearranged. Not an anagram, a translation. You understand none of it, but your hands begin to move anyway, tracing numbers into the dust across the floor. 3. A small drawer opens behind the wall. You didn't see it before. Inside, A child's watch. Plastic. Blue. Stopped at 0.33. You pick it up. It's still warm, still ticking, but only when held. You place it against your ear. There's no sound, but a vibration. A message encoded not in tone, but in rhythm. This isn't the first time, is it? Or maybe not yet. You place the watch in your pocket. It melts as you do. Soft. Grateful. You leave the room. The hallway is wider now, but only when you're not walking. When you move, it narrows. When you stop, it breathes. Ahead, the air begins to hum. Low frequency, 0.33. And behind you, the sound of the clock, still ticking, still crying. There's a pillow resting on a cot that doesn't belong here. The cot is metal, painted white once, but now flaked down to soft rust. It sits in the center of a small room that smells like old starch, low voltage electricity, and faint regret. A single blanket drapes one side, embroidered with thread that forms no language but still suggests meaning. Atop it, the pillow, off-center, waiting. You step toward it quietly. The floor is padded now, not carpet, not fabric, just softened, like breath made solid. You kneel beside the cot. The pillow hums faintly, a vibration in the shape of thought. You press your hand against it and feel a rhythm, not your pulse, but someone else's memory of one. You lift the pillow. Beneath it, another, thinner, and under that, a note, folded once, sealed with a line of black thread knotted into the paper itself. You pull the thread gently. It dissolves like smoke at your touch, and the paper opens with a breath that smells like laundry left out in the rain. The writing inside is faint, etched, not inked, pressed deeply, as if by fingernail or bone. Some voices return, others echo. You place the note back, but now there are 3 pillows. You blink. The cot stretches slightly. Each pillow hums in sequence, low, lower, then silence. You lie down. You don't remember deciding to, but the blanket tucks itself around you. The fabric is warm and smells vaguely of someone you used to miss. You rest your head, and for a moment, the room vanishes. Only the pillow remains. But it's not beneath you anymore. You're inside it. The cotton hums around your ears. 1,000 soft threads vibrating with the same forgotten word. You turn your head. There's someone lying beside you. But the bed hasn't moved. You haven't moved. Still, the shape next to you breathes, slow, mismatched. You reach out. Your hand meets your own, but smaller. You blink. There's no one there. The cot is empty, but the echo of weight remains in the pillow beside yours. You sit up. The room breathes in with you. A mirror now stands across from the cot, where the wall once was. It's fogged at the edges, written across the center. You stayed. Even now, you're still tuned in. You exhale. The message fades, but only from sight, not from shape. You lift the first pillow. Beneath it, a small cassette, label torn, Just one word remains. Recursive. You don't pocket it. You place it beneath the second pillow. The cot creaks softly, as though nodding in approval. You lie back down again, this time eyes open. The ceiling has no features, but it flickers. A soft, pulsing whiteness, like light filtered through water, or memory bleeding into static. You hear the sound again, low frequency, familiar, not outside, inside. The pillow murmurs again. You place your ear closer, and this time you understand. The voice says, "This isn't the first time, is it? Or maybe not yet." And now the pillows are gone. So is the cot. You are lying on nothing, cradled by shape alone, and still the echo hums, folding around you, looping back into its own warmth. You close your eyes, not to sleep, but to remember how. And in that quiet, soft, below-thought space, the pillow sighs, as if it too was trying to forget. You didn't notice the moon had eyes until it blinked. Not with lashes, not with lids, just a slow folding of light against itself. A vertical hush across its crescent shape, like static being drawn downward in a single motion. You weren't looking for it, but it was looking for you. You stand in a room without walls, or maybe the walls are only gone because the light has left them behind. Above you, the moon, too large, too close, hanging at an angle that disrespects the sky. Its glow doesn't illuminate, it outlines. Forms slip in and out of view, not shadows, but shapes trying to remember what they were. You take a step, the moon flickers again, a single blink, and now, beneath your feet, gravel, pale, soft, the texture of crushed bone or chalk, shifting lightly as you move. The air hums in tandem. Each breath you take echoes twice, once in your lungs, and once in a part of you that doesn't have breath. You whisper. Nothing answers, but something listens. You look down and notice your shadow is no longer attached. It stands a few steps behind, facing the opposite direction. You don't call to it, not because you fear it, but because it might answer. And you don't remember what your voice sounds like in the presence of the moon. You walk forward. The landscape loops, not in geography, but in sensation. You pass a tree, twisted, leafless, humming. A moment later, it's there again. Then again. But each time, it's slightly changed. One branch shorter, a knot missing, a bird-shaped hole in the trunk. You close your eyes to break the cycle. Behind your lids, the moon again. This time blinking faster. Each blink aligns with your heart's beat, until you realize it's no longer blinking. It's watching. You open your eyes, and you're seated now, in a field of mirror shards planted like flowers, each reflecting a different version of the moon, some whole, some broken, one bleeding. You pick up a shard. Your reflection speaks. You stayed. Even now, you're still tuned in. The voice doesn't match your mouth. You try to set the shard down, but your hand keeps holding. The edges dig slightly into your palm. No pain, just awareness. The moon above pulses once more, and suddenly it's day, briefly, then gone. The blink again. You look up. Now there are 2 moons, each blinking at different intervals, as if arguing. One glows warm, the other inverted, hollow, cold. You remember something now, faint, unclear, a room, a notebook, a spiral drawn in ash, the moon's pulse. A sound begins, not from above, from beneath. The gravel shifts, rearranges into a line. 0.33. You step back, the moons blink in sync, and in that moment, everything holds its breath. You remember the pillow, the clock, the hallway with no center. You close your eyes again, and now you are standing at a window, looking out at the moon. Only one now, but it is full and weeping. Soft trails of light drift downward like falling threads. One lands on your shoulder and hums. You whisper to it. This isn't the first time, is it? Or maybe not yet. The thread dissolves. Your reflection in the glass does not blink, but the moon behind it does. Once, then again, then gone. The mirror is missing. You're certain it was there before, centered above the sink, framed in soft rust and static residue, holding just enough light to remind you of shape. But now, in its place, water, not dripping, not still, suspended, vertical, like a curtain drawn from another reality. The liquid floats in a perfect rectangle, rippling gently as if stirred by breath. You step forward. The air cools, not cold, just aware. The scent shifts, lavender wilted in steam, faint ozone, and the coppery twinge of reflection. You reach out. The water doesn't ripple at your presence. It doesn't respond at all. You press a fingertip into its surface and the sensation is immediate. Not wet, but remembered. Like your skin is recalling what water once felt like, filtered through the distortion of dreams. Your hand disappears inside. No splash, no resistance. Just warmth. Not from the liquid, from what's beyond. You lean forward. Your face hovers near the surface. There is no reflection. But something moves on the other side. Slow. Wrong. The shape mirrors you. Almost. It tilts its head when you do, raises its hand when you hesitate. But its eyes, if they are eyes, never quite line up. They are just slightly above where yours should be, as if watching from a different memory of your body. You whisper. The water pulses. A line of vibration runs across it, distorting the shape, fracturing its posture into segments like tape glitching between channels. The figure dissolves, and then returns. But now it's behind you. You don't turn. You don't need to. Its presence is heavy in the floorboards. A wetness that doesn't spread, only presses. You reach deeper into the water. Your arm enters up to the elbow, then the shoulder. Still no bottom. Still no temperature shift. Still no resistance. But now, a sound. The faint whir of a tape rewinding. Then a voice, your voice, but reversed. Ni deut lits eroi, niv won yats oi. You don't flinch, because the words still feel true. You pull your hand back, dripping, but the drops never hit the floor. They evaporate mid-air, or perhaps reabsorb into the space between moments. You step back, and now the water is gone. In its place, a black rectangle of glass, smooth, lifeless. It shows nothing. No room, no moon, no version of you. Only static, thick, layered, textured like frost and silence. You raise your hand again. Touch the glass. It's warm, then not. Then it breathes. Beneath your palm, a pulse. 3 beats. Then words, etched invisibly, but felt beneath the fingertips. Don't adjust it. The noise is part of the message. You whisper again. Not a question. Not an answer. Just a shape. This isn't the first time, is it? Or maybe not yet. The glass responds by blinking. Once. And your face appears. Only it's not current. It's you from earlier. From another scene. You recognize the cut above your brow. The fleck of ash on your collar. This version of you looks directly into your eyes. Then mouths something. You can't hear it. But your lips repeat the motion without permission. A loop completes. A mirror of water reforms. And the static vanishes. In its place, you again, breathing. But now, the ripple is on this side. Behind you, you turn. But the room is empty. Still, only the scent remains. That warm mix of air and water and memory. And beneath it all, the faintest echo of your voice. You stayed. No longer spoken, just remembered. The carpet rises, not physically, but with presence, as if the room has decided that silence should have texture, and it chose the weave beneath your feet to deliver it. You don't remember entering this space, but you're here now, barefoot. Each step presses into something just soft enough to yield, but not enough to welcome. You kneel. The carpet smells like warmth pressed into time. Old laundry, paperbacks left in the sun, and breath caught in pillow seams. You run your hand along its fibres. They resist, then ripple, then still. There's a voice underneath, not loud, not pleading, just waiting. Your voice, muffled, familiar in the way your dreams sometimes mimic memory, with wrong details, misplaced emphasis, the feeling of almost. It says your name, then says it backward, then not at all. You press your ear to the floor. The fibres lift slightly, just enough to allow the shape of sound through. Beneath the weave, words stretch like roots. You stayed. Even now, you're still tuned in. The floor inhales. The carpet pulses. Something beneath it shifts. Not crawling, not moving, but repositioning in language too slow to be heard. You pull at the edge. The seam frays without resistance. And beneath it, not wood, not concrete, just dark. Dark that feels dense. Like water too thick to breathe. Like signal caught in pause. You whisper into it. The pause listens. A small shape rises into view. It's your voice. Not sound. Not metaphor. A physical form. Small. Soft. Trembling with static. It opens and closes like a mouth trying to form a word it never learned. It stutters, then loops, then quiets. You reach for it, but your fingers pass through, and the carpet folds over again, as if to protect it, as if to end the transmission. You sit back. The room dims. No light source, no shadow, only that slow warmth returning to your chest. That familiar rhythm, not heart, not breath, just recognition. The kind you feel when you hear your name spoken by someone who's already forgotten it. You close your eyes, and beneath your skin, the voice stirs again. Not words now, just pattern, soft hisses of syllables misremembered. Echoes folded into a body that no longer asks questions. A hum begins. Low, submerged. It wraps around you like fabric, like fog, like signal reversed, and fed back through silence. The room dissolves, the carpet with it, and for the first time, you're no longer under anything. You're inside it, held gently by the thing that was listening all along. And somewhere beneath where floor used to be, your voice continues, not speaking, just playing, still.